I'm Wendy Dietrich. I'm the chair of the Mayor's Commission on Disability Concerns, and I'd like to welcome you all here for the 30th Annual Disability Awards for the City of Tempe. I'm pleased to be able to introduce our keynote speaker for the afternoon, Neil Giuliano. Neil was recently selected as the Valley Leadership's Man of the Year, and he has served as mayor from 1994 to 2004 with the City of Tempe. Under his leadership, the Tempe Human Relations Commission was formed. He also directed the creation of the city's diversity office. And before he left office, he laid the groundwork for the creation of the ADA compliance specialist position that was created in 2005. Michelle holds that position today. Mr. Giuliano has received numerous awards for his work in public policy and community activism. It's quite a long list, so I'm going to cheat and read them off from my notes. He received the Barry Goldwater Human Rights Award from Equality Arizona and was named Tempe Humanitarian of the Year in 2014. He serves on the boards of directors of Partnership for Economic Innovation, Valley of the Sun United Way, the Maricopa Association of Governments Economic Development Committee, Kiwanis Club of Tempe, and the Arizona Bioscience Board. Please join me in welcoming Neil Giuliano.
Thank you very much. What a wonderful crowd this afternoon. Is it a good afternoon? It's a great afternoon. I want to thank you very much for inviting me to be here today. Being in this room reminds me of the Charlie Brown cartoon, where Charlie Brown and Linus were sitting out in the waiting room of a dentist office, and they could see the different offices. And out of one room was loud screaming and yelling, and obviously a lot of drama going on there between the dentist and the patient. And the other room was just the quiet hum of the dental drill, but no other noise at all. And Charlie Brown looked at Linus and said, "You know, I think happiness is being in the right room." And we are in the right room today. I said to the mayor when we were standing in the back, 30 years, a 30th anniversary. Should give yourselves a round of applause. There's not many places anywhere, but certainly around here, where that would be the case. I'm going to share with you just a couple of brief keynotes, because the real keynotes today are the residents and citizens and young people and staff and students who are being recognized for their tremendous achievements and accomplishments within the city. But I want to give you a bit of perspective as well. For all of us who woke up this morning, we are more fortunate than the 1 million people who won't live out this week. Now, if you've never experienced the danger of being in battle, the loneliness of imprisonment, the agony of torture or pangs of starvation, you're ahead of 20 million people on the planet. If you are able to attend regularly the church or synagogue or place of worship of your choice without fear of harassment, arrest, torture, or even death, you're more fortunate than almost 3 billion people on the planet. If you, like I, have some food in a refrigerator at home, and we're all here with clothes on our back, and presumably a roof over our head this evening and a place to sleep, we're richer than 75% of the people in the world. If you have any money at all in your pocket today, or in a bank account, or in your wallet, or spare change at home on a plate on your dresser, you're among the top 8% wealthiest people in the world. If your parents are still married and both parents are still alive, you are actually rare, and especially more so in the United States. But when we hold our head with a smile each day and are truly thankful to be among friends and family and people who care about us, we are among the most blessed people on the planet. When we think of days like today, when we are talking about and recognizing ability, the abilities that we have to work at our best potential to get different things accomplished, that's conscious devotion and conscious attention to achieving. One of the other reasons for being here today, acknowledging that ability to achieve and accomplish. Advocacy. There's so much advocacy that must be done, not just for the disabled community, but for people in general who quite often in our society are living and pushed to the margins and are marginalized with how they're able to lead their lives and be successful and look for achievements in their lives. That advocacy work is so very important. And my guess is in the room here today, among the professional staff people, among the clients, among family and friends, you are all advocates because you must be advocates for your own needs and the needs of those around you that you care about. Access is something that's extremely important. Something that, to this day, while Tempe is very fortunate and I think has been very forward in ensuring access, and that's just not physical access, but that's access to information and access to support and caring individuals to be helpful, as well as the access that we have physically within our environment for people of all ability levels. That access is really critical. And while it is something that we have had to fight for through government regulations and government laws and oversight, these are things that we will continually have to fight for. You can never let up when it comes to being advocates for the access that is needed for the community. And certainly with achievements, if you're one of the recipients of the many recognitions and awards today, I want to offer a personal congratulations to you. Many people don't know about my professional path, and now it's so long ago I can understand why. But for 2 years, from end of 1979 till the middle of 1981, this is a long time ago, I served as a counselor in the Disabled Students Office at Arizona State University. My client load were folks who had sensory impairments, either visual, some blind students, some deaf students. At the time, I'm going to say this for our interpreter to my right, at the time, I sort of knew sign language. Not so much today. Forgot a lot. But I knew enough sign language then to work with the deaf community at Arizona State University. And those 2 years in the early part of my career at Arizona State University were just incredible. And I had students who were amazing. They inspired me every single day with their dedication, their ability, and their desire to achieve. And in many cases, in spite of difficult odds, difficult hands that they had been dealt in life. And so I have a special place in my heart for the community that is here today, acknowledging the achievements and the access and the abilities and all of the advocacy that you do together. And we will celebrate and acknowledge those and keep mindful of the fact that it's only when we're together, It's only when we come together at events like this that we can be reminded of how strong and powerful we can be as a community when we come together for events like the one that we are having today. So I'm grateful to have been asked as a former mayor, now how many years, Mark? A long, long time ago. I left office 14 years ago. So I'm just happy to be invited anywhere. And I'm grateful to be here with you today to celebrate this 30th anniversary for disability awareness in Tempe. Congratulations to everyone, and thank you for having me.
Next, I'd like to introduce our mayor, Mark Mitchell, who is a third-generation Arizonan. He's a native of Tempe. He attended elementary school and middle school locally, and then graduated from McClintock High. He received a political science degree from ASU. Before he was elected mayor in 2012, he served 3 four-year terms on the city council, and he is also a member of numerous boards and charitable organizations, and I'm going to refer to the list again: the Kiwanis Club of Tempe, the Tempe Diablos, Tempe Leadership Class 15, yay, Tempe Sister Cities, Tempe Impact Education Foundation, the Rio Salado Foundation, and the Tempe YMCA. He also serves on the board of directors for the Greater Phoenix Economic Council and serves as the city's representative on the Maricopa Association of Governments Regional Council, the Regional Council Executive Committee, and the Transportation Policy Committee, and the Valley Metro RPTA and Valley Metro Board of Directors. Mayor Mitchell is also a member of the Executive Committee for the League of Arizona Cities and Towns and is involved with the U.S. Conference of Mayors and the National League of Cities. In addition, he has 2 daughters, Allison and Sophia. So given all that, I think we're very lucky he had time to come and join us today. So would you please join me in welcoming Mayor Mitchell?
It truly is an honor to be here, and thank you so much. You know, as been often said, this is our 30th annual Mayor's Disability Awards. Since 1988, I can't believe I'm saying 1988. That was actually that's a year I graduated high school. Tempe has presented these prestigious awards honoring ability, advocacy, access, and achievements. Today also marks a special day. We're recognizing the 50th anniversary of the Fair Housing with a resolution to celebrate April as Fair Housing Month here in Tempe. Why is fair housing important? It provides the framework for equal access to housing opportunities. Where one lives really determines access to opportunities and dictates access to education, employment, and health. And fortunately, there is infrastructure in place to help us pursue the promise of equal housing access that is fair to all of us and fair to the Housing Act. As I mentioned, the Fair Housing Act lays a framework for us, but there's still a lot more work to do to eliminate inequalities. I'd like to invite Lisa Lloyd, representing our community development, and Teresa James, representing our human services, if they could please join me on stage to hear, so I can read this resolution as they come up. Starting this year, Tempe will be adopting the 2018 building codes that include the most current version of fair housing standards. This new set of codes include visibility standards. Visibility refers to single-family or owner-occupied housing designated in such a way that it can be lived in or visited by people who do have trouble with their steps or who uses wheelchairs or walkers. We also actively explore an accessible housing incentive program to help add accessibility into housing stock here in the near future. With that said, I'm extremely proud to read this proclamation where it states, whereas in 2018 marks the 50th anniversary of the passage of Title 13 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, commonly known as the Federal Fair Housing Act, which guarantees the rights of equal housing opportunity. And whereas the City of Tempe provides fair housing programs for its residents, and today many realty companies, associations, and lenders and landlords support the housing laws. And whereas accessible housing is a critical component of family and community health and stability for over thousands of Tempe residents with disabilities, and whereas housing choices impact children's access to education and recreation, our elders' access to safe environments, our residents' ability to retain employment and enjoy the Tempe's cultural benefits. And Tempe will begin adopting the 2018 Family of Building and Housing Codes, reflecting the most current fair housing standards, the 2010 Americans with Disabilities Act, and the Housing Visibility Standards to facilitate residential access and inclusion. And whereas the City of Tempe is identifying accessible housing stock for promotion of its Access Tempe web map and is actively exploring an accessible housing incentive program to increase the stock of accessible apartments and homes. Now, therefore, I, Mark Mitchell, Mayor of Tempe, Arizona, do hereby declare the month of April as the Fair Housing Month here in Tempe, Arizona. Thank you, Lisa and Teresa, for coming up here. I am especially proud and grateful for all the work by the Commission on Disability Concerns. Without the work of this commission, the city would not be where it is today. This wonderful commission makes recommendations on disability access and inclusion for the city. The commission also hosts several activities that include the Deaf and Hard of Hearing and Disability Job Fair with Arizona at Work, the Hearing Loss Association of America, Working Adults Chapter, the Youth Mock Interview Appaloosa with Vocational Rehabilitation Services. And I'd like to really thank those commissioners for their hard work. They volunteer hundreds of hours of their own time to make Tempe a better place for everyone. Now, it's my pleasure to honor a former commissioner, Mr. Thomas Ringhofer. Tom volunteered thousands of hours for Tempe and the commission over a span of 10 years, from 2004 to 2008, and more recently from 2010 to 2016. Tom recently passed on, but he is not forgotten. He graduated from Arizona State University with a degree in business administration and has served Tempe well. In addition, in serving Tempe as a commissioner, Tom was president of the American Wheelchair Pilots Association, president of the Polio Echo, and owner of the managing broker of Ringhofer Realty. Tom enjoyed playing the banjo, guitar, and harmonica, and was passionate about being a grandfather. Tom was a man of humor, a strong advocate for disability access and inclusion, and particularly skilled in architectural accessibility. To recognize his service, the Commission on Disability Concerns has named an award commemorating him, the Tom Ringhofer Architectural Award, in honor of his advocacy, humor, care, and service. So let's give a round of applause for Tom and his family and for the new award designation. So I mentioned earlier that I'm very proud of all that we're doing for access and inclusion here in Tempe. Let me share with you just a few things that Tempe has recently done. Just this month, Tempe received a $23,000 grant from the Arizona Community Foundation to install hearing loops, or otherwise known as induction loops, in 2 meeting rooms at the Tempe Public Library. This technology is great. It increases communication access for those who use hearing aids and a Kohler implants. We are excited about this technology and look forward to adding more as time goes on. And speaking of grants, Tempe received the Gila River Indian Community 12% gaming funds for the ADA Transit Wayfinding Pilot. This pilot is to evaluate an app to identify bus stops by people who are blind or who have low vision by using electronic beacons that interact with a smartphone. Tempe is working with Valley Metro, ADA LifeQuest, and the Arizona State University in this pilot study. There is a table in the lobby where you can find out more information about this exciting project. The Tempe police officers, the firefighters, and other first responders continue to receive autism for first responders training, thus ensuring appropriate response in emergency situations. Enhancing this training is the ongoing publicity efforts promoting Tempe's Smart 911 system, where confidential disability information can be shared with first responders to ensure that important information, photos, and strategies are communicated. We're also continuing our work with Access Tempe web map. Access Tempe helps you find local disability resources in the East Valley, and more are being added every month. If you know of good services that should be included, please don't hesitate to let us know. In partnership with this effort, we have developed the Access Tempe network, which facilitates information sharing among different agencies. You can find more information about that here out in the table here in the lobby. And Tempe Care 7 is now the program that provides secure lock boxes and vials of life for residents with disabilities and seniors who live alone. This ensures safe and quick entry into a home. Should there be an emergency, the lock boxes are provided by the Southeast Valley Regional Association of Realtors, and we couldn't do it without them. So let's give the Southeast Valley Association of Realtors a round of applause for that. And phase 1 of the Tempe's ADA transportation plan is gearing up for implementation in the downtown area. Phase 2 is a 60-day public involvement process that is in progress as we speak. We would love for you to stop by the Cole Engineering table after our celebration here today and give us your thoughts on some of the priorities. If your agency would like a presentation, please just stop by the table and let them know, and we'll be able to help set that up. Tempe is also adding accessibility in our parks. You will see a poster out in the lobby that highlights the timeline. It includes adding rubber surfacing at our playgrounds, accessible picnic areas, on-street accessible parking, and much more. So as you can see, with the many partners and supporters and the commissioners, Tempe is engaged and is committed to improving the access and inclusion for everyone in our great city. Now, we also want to individually thank our sponsors that are with us here today. Ms. Belinda Banger of Cole Design Group, Believe I Can Academy, which is the owner is Sarah Davis, and our past president of Tempe Diablos, Mr. Rich Antonio. We also want to recognize former Commissioner Irene Marshall, and finally, a long-standing company in Tempe. We want to recognize Bobby Flowers and Gift Shops for their contributions. All right, now on to our awards. First, our Outstanding Tempe Student Awards. We are really privileged to present the Tempe student winners with scholarships provided by the Tempe Diablos. Our first award winner is the outstanding student, Anna Molina. Anna is graduating next month with straight A's from Tempe High School. Miss Molina is one of those people whose smile is something that you'll never forget. She's a devoted friend and advocate and loves everything and anything to do with science. She is a fine example of persistence, diligence, striving to excel. Let's please welcome, and she's standing right here, Miss Anna Molina. Thank you. Next is our astounding student, Antone Lewis. Antone is a junior at Tempe High School and has a strong commitment to excellence. He is the vice president of the Transition from School to Work Club. He is employed part-time and is refining his professional skills. He's focused on his graduating participation in a Transition from High School to Work program while preparing for trade school for a career in welding. Let's please congratulate Mr. Antone Lewis. Give him a round of applause. And now we award our outstanding student, Daisy Ebony Nelson, who is graduating from Tempe High School this year. Mr. Nelson has refined her self-advocacy as she directs her long-term career plans to pursue field of criminology. Ms. Nelson participated in a Transition from School to Work program, vocational rehabilitation, and is enrolled in the East Valley Institute of Technology, otherwise known as EVIT, to further her short-term goal as a licensed massage therapist. So let's congratulate Ms. Daisy Nelson. Daisy Nelson. Next, let's welcome outstanding student Jordan Wright from Mountain Point High School. For 8 years, Mr. Wright has participated in Special Olympic sports, ranging from powerlifting to cheer. During that time, he has been steadfast in becoming an excellent athlete, both on and off the court. When Jordan first began Special Olympics, he learned about accommodating his sensory needs and handling uncomfortable situations. When entering a competition, Jordan makes sure that he prepares his mind for action with headphones and sensory devices. Jordan is also a foster brother. Over the years, Jordan's family has received 5 foster placements, and Jordan always welcomes them with joy and open arms. So let's help him welcome Mr. Jordan Wright. Congratulations, sir. All right. All right, let's welcome outstanding student Caitlin Thompson. Ms. Thompson has grown in grace and joy at Tempe High School. She started as an apprehensive freshman, has since matured into her confidence and expanded knowledge. She takes her responsibilities seriously, earning a high grade point average. She has been successful as an effective self-advocate. She's a member of the Shades program, which provides support in building grace and social skills and gives her opportunity to share her wonderful sense of humor. Please help celebrate Miss Caitlin Thompson. Congratulations, Caitlin. Next, let's welcome up the astounding student of Lisette Keller. Miss Keller is a fifth grader at the Bethany Christian School. She has become adept at balancing school expectations, homework, and her entrepreneurial soap business. Ms. Keller also balances the uniqueness of her own disability while advocating for and with other children at school. She requests times to read to classmates. She reads so many stories about dyslexia and increases her understanding and acceptance. Lisette has sadly experienced bullying. However, she decided that instead of getting upset about it, that she would help others understand the impact of bullying. Please help me celebrate Ms. Lisette Keller. Let's welcome outstanding student Morgan Turner, a senior from Corona del Sol High School. Ms. Turner will be graduating in May. She is dedicated to success and diligent, chooses to focus on her goals and education. She is a dedicated student who enjoys participating with Soul Buddies and social events. Morgan has had the opportunity to travel around the country and the world with her family, and she willingly shares her experiences in a classroom. Outside of school, Morgan enjoys spending time with her dog Jessie and traveling. Let's celebrate Miss Morgan Turner. Now we're going to recognize an outstanding student, Sophie Vega, from Believe I Can Academy. When Sophie started Believe I Can Academy several years ago, she was in crisis. Everything was difficult, and coping was not the skill she had yet acquired. She had few friends and had a hard time playing. Many days, Sophie saw the world through her tears. Throughout the year, Sophie learned to adjust. She now presents strongly as a confident friend. She is reading at grade level. She has transitioned to a general education class with the same age peers and is solving conflicts on her own. Sophie shares and helps her friends when they need it. She works hard to build relationships, and in fact, out of kindness, she is learning American Sign Language because some of her peers at Believe I Can Academy use American Sign Language to communicate. Please join me in celebrating Sophie Vega. Now let's give another round of applause to the Tempe Diablos for their contributions of supporting the scholarships for outstanding Tempe students. Thank you, Tempe Diablos. Now for education and business and community awards. Please welcome life skills educator Felicia Tu from Marcos Ceniza High School. She has earned the Exceptional Educator Award. Felicia Tu has been a life skills educator of students with multiple and severe disabilities since 1997. She recently created a club called the Padre Processing Press, which specializes in community service. As part of the club, Ms. Tu and her students created a greeting card business where they make their own paper and decorate cards for the general and special occasions and sells them throughout the year. Through the business, she teaches students skills, work ethic, and a way to fund activities they might not otherwise have. Recently, funds from the endeavor paid for a visit for the Phoenix Herpetological Society, all because of their hard work. What some might know this as Ms. Tu is a traumatic brain injury survivor or a near-death car accident that she expected to leave in a permanent that she was expected to be left in a permanent vegetative state. Having been through a coma, months of physical therapy, and years of recovery, she returned to her profession as a teacher and went on to earn her master's in counseling. Considering her personal experience, expertise, and creative teaching ability, diligence, and understanding, there is no one better than Ms. Tu to advocate for the abilities of her students. Please join me in celebrating Felicia Tu, the Life Skills Educator, and as an Exceptional Educator Award. Next, we have the Employer of the Year Award, where Angela Johnson and Sherry Berry from Fabric, please come join me on stage. You guys are really racking up the awards this week. Angela Johnson and Angela Berry co-founded Fashion and Business Resource Innovation Center, otherwise known as Fabric, in 2016. They partnered with the city of Tempe to repurpose the Tempe Performing Arts Center in creating a local fashion incubator. At that time, Angela and Sherry also co-founded their nonprofit Arizona Apparel Foundation to give back to the community. The term fashion incubator describes the main activities of education, support, research, and growth of viable fashion design businesses. The Center for Rehabilitation has been fortunate to partner with them to support a job program for rehabilitation, has been fortunate to support, the job program at Fabric, starting off by teaching 5 client sewing skills with the goal of becoming proficient and an employed seamstress. With Angela and Sherry's support, training, and encouragement, these 5 individuals became trained in commercial sewing. Angela and Sherry and the AAF then went on to secure a contract to sew tote bags from recycled ASU banners for Arizona State University. Fabric also donated the denim of their projects, where TCH clients have sewn denim totes. These and other projects have created awareness within the community about individuals with disabilities. Thanks to Angela and Sherry and the AAF's determination to promote equal opportunity and advancement, these individuals learned the skills craft as a seamstress and built new and lasting friendships. Let's please join me, and they're already up here, and celebrate Fabric as the Employee of the Year. The next award is Employee of the Year. I would like to call up Melita Winnick from the Centers of Rehabilitation. Melita Winnick is the Vice President of Programs at the Centers for Rehabilitation. She provides leadership and knows the value of participating in community programs. She developed and nurtured business affiliations with Arizona State University, Medtronic, Arizona Fashion Apparel Foundation, which we just awarded, Airmark, and other pursuant of support of competitive employment for TCH clients. These programs, under Ms. Winnick, and with the help of the employment manager, Jim Hodge, facilitated transition from paid training programs to competitive employment for 155 Tempe Centers for Rehabilitation members over the past 2 years. Melita and her TCH team have practicing innovation and strong leadership to bring about much-needed systems change for people with disabilities. Melita and the Tempe Centers for Rehabilitation team diligently work together to obtain opportunities to increase their quality of life. Let's join, and please join me, and let's join Melita Welnick as the Employee of the Year. Next is our Community Service Award. Tempe Adult Day Health Services, Carolyn Hutchins. Tempe Adult Day Health Services, directed by Carolyn Hutchins, provides a safe environment for people who have dementia and physical limitations that require caregiving or similar supports. We know that they are important to our Tempe community because we received 4 nominations on their behalf. Some of the comments from the nominators include, my husband was one of the least socialist person around and is least likely to participate in group activities due to his many physical limitations. Staff was challenged to identify activities which interest him while allowing him to be his own person. He opted to sit apart from the group and observe. This is the same behavior he has adopted when attending large family functions over the years. Because of his dementia, he has difficulty processing steps to complete tasks. He was a mechanic his whole life, so staff purchased a toolkit and let him work on projects without judging success or failure, but rewarding his desire to fix something. Another said Carolyn Hutchinson is a jack of all trades. I have seen her drive the bus to pick up my wife when the regular driver was ill. She has a warm personality and the ability to make you feel comfortable immediately. I think her positive attitude is felt by the staff because I have never met any staff who seemed unhappy working there. Another said, I trust the center completely with my wife. I never have to worry when she is in the center. Having my wife at the center provides a much-needed break for me as a primary caregiver. Another said, this center helps families stay together at home, and that is amazing. They do God's work. So please join me in celebrating the Tempe Adult Day Health Services with the Community Service Award. Next, we have the Tom Ringhoffer Architectural Award, Marina Peralta from Logan Simpson. The Tempe streetcar tactile station models were designed by landscape designer Maria Pereira. Did I pronounce that correctly? Help me out. Mariana Pereira, who is employed at Logan Simpson to convey visual information to people who are blind or who have low vision. These were instrumental in obtaining comments from everyone to ensure public input was received on the station design. Because of the tactile models, design changes were made to increase accessibility and usability. Project goals include providing intuitive and barrier-free access to stops, incorporating shade, lighting, and seating while integrating public art into each of the stops. The project adheres strictly to all the accessibility standards. Each model demonstrated how stops interact with the surroundings by including the approach sidewalk crossing, the adjacent sidewalk, platform furniture and features, and tactile warnings, and the indication of where vehicle doors will open. The Tempe Streetcar Project includes 14 stops and will serve the historic Mill Avenue Retail District, Arizona State University, and the rapidly growing residential neighborhoods south of downtown. Logan Simpson is the lead urban designer and landscape architect for the high-profile Alternative Transportation Project. Please join me in presenting the Tom Ringhofer Architectural Award to Mariana Pera. Next is our Business Leadership Award. Jeff Ramsdell at Lead in Wheelchair Lift and Sport. Jeff Ramsdell, owner of Lead in Wheelchair Lift and Sport in Tempe, has been a humble leader in the disability community for more than 30 years. He provides excellent service and support to people with disabilities. He works with various adaptive hand cycling programs around Arizona and gets people out and active because that is his passion. Mr. Ramsdell has been an integral part of building the Day of the Lake program. His trustworthy, gentle manner has been instrumental in getting folks out on the lake to experience water skiing, jet skiing, fishing, boating, and kayaking. He oversees much of the adaptive water ski equipment and makes it safe for everyone. Jeff has donated his time and equipment to put adaptive hand controls and cameras and Dodge Chargers at the Driving to Excel program over the past 7 years. He works closely with the Bondurant School of High Performance Driving to ensure that the participants have a safe and fun experience on the skill pads that they learn high-level driving skills from the pros. Jeff never makes you feel like he doesn't have time for you. He truly cares and gives from his heart. Jeff is one of those top experts in the Valley for fitting people whose customized lightweight wheelchairs for everyday use or adaptive sports, which include wheelchair basketball, quad rugby, tennis, skiing, and more. Jeff has been volunteering and giving in-kind support to adaptive sports and outdoor recreation programs in the Valley for more than 20 years. If it has wheels or skis that provides mobility for a person with disability, Jeff keeps them rolling and gliding. Please join me in presenting the Business Leadership Award to Jeff Ramsdell at the Lead in Wheelchair Lift and Sport. Next is our Legacy Award for Veterans Telemedicine Program in memory of Fire Captain Kyle Breer. Accepting this would be Art Breer and his mom by the team. We have a special award to give. The Legacy Award, which is for the Veterans Telemedicine Program in memory of Fire Captain Kyle Breer, who was killed in a shooting while off duty in February. He led the creation of the program for Tempe Fire Medical Rescue Department and saw it through its first year of service. The Veterans Telemedicine Program was launched in 2016 through a partnership consisting of the Tempe Fire Medical Rescue Department, the Phoenix Veterans Administration Hospital, and Tempe St. Luke's. Many veterans have chronic medical issues, including mental health issues such as PTSD, chemical exposure, respiratory disease, and traumatic brain injuries. The program identifies military veterans with medical issues and provides them with home visits by a nursing team from the fire departments, Patients Advocate Service, and Tempe St. Luke's, who telecommutes with medical staff from the Phoenix VA Hospital. These visits allow a one-on-one, in-time, and full evaluation of the patient's situation. In 2013, the Patients Advocate Service has helped many reduce their visits to the emergency rooms through home visits and phone contacts. Please help me thank this team with the Legacy Award for the Veterans Telemedicine Program in memory of Fire Captain Kyle Breer. Our next award is Pride of the City. Higher Octave Healing, Camila Eubanks, MMMT-BC. The Higher Octave Healing, founded by Camila Eubanks, has served the Tempe community for over 8 years, providing the highest quality music therapy and support services to persons with developmental disabilities and their families. The organization advocates for persons with developmental disabilities and promotes self-advocacy and empowerment. Higher Octave Healing was founded in 2010 with a desire to increase access to music therapy and support services within our community. They lead the way as the state's largest music therapy organization, providing it to over 600 people each week, ranging from 8 weeks to over 80 years old, or 8 weeks old to over 80 years old. Despite major cuts to medical funded services over the past several years for persons with developmental disabilities, Higher Octave Learning continues to diversify funding in order to continue to provide high-quality music therapy and support services. Higher Octave Healing Board of Directors include individuals with developmental disabilities as well as parents in order to receive a direct perspective of the community they are serving. Please help me celebrate with Camila Eubanks as they are awarded the Pride of the City to Higher Octave Healing. I want to thank you all for being here to help join us in this great celebration, celebrating the ability, the advocacy, and the access, and the achievements. Again, thank you for coming to the 30th Annual Mayor Disability Awards.